Okay, 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 okay. I just want to talk about some Shaligram, share some cool stuff. So here we are. Here we are. Welcome, welcome. Let's just talk about Shaligrams. Maybe I thought this was worth. This is probably worth mentioning, actually. This post. Oops. Kamchatka has been pretty quiet, relatively, and then yesterday it clustered again. So it was like this, and I'm like, dude, it's a freaking. I call it a bulge because it's not really as chakra-like as it has been in the past. It's still kind of a chakra with this point. But it's kind of incredible. It's bulging out. It's got like repeated but like along paths kind of things where these are like near but spaced. Probably related to different exhaust inlet paths for pressures and undercurrents. And then it clustered after that. So the one that was extended out here like a chakra point is over a week in this image at like 22 hours ago. And then this morning at my time, like 11 hours ago, this cluster is happening. And then I looked at, where is it? Oh, here we go. I was like, okay, what's up? And I was like, oh yeah, that the one that was over a week ago was specifically the one that kind of gave the bulge more of a chakra appearance by having this protruding central node appearance to the connect the dot image, but now it's more of just like a bulge with multiple paths in its appearance. And then I just went through and numbered them. I was like, okay. Sorry, maybe I'm going into too much detail just to show one image. I just might as well share this. In the last week, this is the sequence. 1, so we have 1, pardon me, 2, far ends. This is like the general range that these are in. Oh, we just got a 6 in the cluster. This is kind of crazy. There was another cluster that I didn't bother to look into. I don't want to make I almost would made it underground science, but I just was like, I want to talk about shallograms. But I'm like, this is too crazy not to. I think it's related to shallograms. It's got a chakra shape. But if we look at the sequence, it's at the far end, and then the far end, opposite ends though, and then it clusters generally down here, where the next one is here, and then here, and then the next one. Let's read what I say here. All the earthquakes numbered in the USGS only at the moment, and then I looked at the other source side I'm aware of to find easy data for the last week at Kamchatka in a ping-ponging nature. So this is just a term that I have come to notice in these that I then use regularly to describe a ping-ponging nature. Why exactly it's happening, I'm not sure, but it just happens. 1, 2, but then generally it went from the northern end, the northern margin of the interactions of these currents, to the southern margin, because there's a northern and southern undercurrent below the crust that's interacting in this region that is producing boundary eddies that build into high energy releases, running into pressures of magnetic anomalies that are structurally present as rigid, resistant material that undercurrents cannot easily flow through, run into, and can eddy against. So that's really what we see here in spades, dudes. It's crazy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5 is at the cluster spot over here, 5. Prior to the cluster, so none of these had happened yet. Anything orange was in the last 24 hours. So the only one in the cluster region was this one after. So in the last week, the one that fell off before this was like the chakra point. Almost like it's closed. Like it's bulging, pressures want to release, they release at a central region. And it was doing that, but then resistance happened, an earthquake happened, and pressures kind of just couldn't get through as well, which then led into the first quake after that is still in the prior week up here at one of the margins, and it built up over here, and basically the energy tried to escape and ran into resistance. And so it tried to escape over here, ran into resistance, and then it kind of just got captured in this region. 5, 6. So actually, it went up to the cluster region, and interestingly, instead of just being at the cluster region, it shifted to what I wanted to look at, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, to see if where the other cluster that recently happened. I don't think it was here. I think it was more south, but maybe it was here, where there was a ring-shaped feature of earthquakes that were like ringing the freaking area in just their nature, connect dot nature. So then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 all clustered here, oddly. Almost like it was trying to eddy here is how I interpreted it. Like maybe it tried to eddy here. And it couldn't, and interestingly, it goes 9, 10 this way instead of going like around the way I'm doing this. As if maybe it went this way, ran into resistance, and went back this way, leading to pressures over here for 11 and 12, 13, 14, so they shift up to this area. And then 14 is November 1st at noon, my Eastern. Pardon me that I leave it in user time zone. Oh my god. How unscientifically rigorous, I guess, in the time zone, whatever. It's consistent, so it doesn't matter. But November 1st, noon. November 2nd, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. almost. So over a day, 32 hours later, after it did all these things, where it went top, actually it went exhaust, that's a chakra, and then it went top, bottom, cluster region, but before the cluster, 5, and then like pseudo eddy region, and then exhaust region where some of the pressures do exhaust to the exhaust region, and then it kind of just hung out a little bit. Like if we go back, November 1st, 24 hours before, another one, and then 4 hours before that, another one, and just before that. And so these are pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. More than one, and then a 32-hour gap. Like, this is a pause. Like, energy had exhausted all its options of exhaust. It's like, shit, I can't fucking exhaust. So it just builds up. Goes here, goes there, pauses, and then 15 at the cluster. Where's 16? Where is, oh yeah, bottom. So it didn't start clustering right away in the sequence, but 15, 16, 17, if we look at these, November 2nd. That's so many on that since then. So this had 3 hours between it going down here and then back up here. 3 hours. And we didn't yet have the 6.1, which was the largest magnitude in the sequence at the time. I think the one that just happened was 6.0. So it's still the largest. So we have, again, a hiatus where it paused by 3 hours compared to 9 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour 15, an hour 20, 12, 4. So not as much of a hiatus. So it commences the actual manifestations of this building energy no longer being containable, where it just kind of pushes outward and creates earthquakes in whatever exact way it's manifesting by undercurrents. Whether it's eddies against resistance, just currents running into resistance. So if we go back though, so then we go 15 at the cluster, but still pre-cluster. We got 5 and 15 in the sequence at the cluster, but pre-cluster. 15 leading into the cluster, but not before first trying to exhaust again over here. Pressure said, well, maybe there can be some exhaust from this interaction region this way in terms of the pressures, whether or not the currents are physically flowing that way, because it's generally a northward flowing current in this area and a southward flowing current out in this area that are interacting, as we'll look at it more specifically real quick. Let's just get to Oh yeah, let me actually finish here. 17, 18, 19, 20. So then 20 is the big one. 17, 18, 19, 20 all even eddy into it from 15. 15 ignoring 16 just as like this exhaust attempt. 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then 21 is right there. 22 is over here. 23 is next to 21. 24 is over there. So it has some element of eddying to like a central area and then kind of going outward along this way. And those, where's 25? It's hard to write on this thing without pulling up Photoshop and doing it more precisely. That's 3, I guess. I don't know what that is. Is that 5? That must be the 5. Oh no, there it is. What is that? 7, 7. Okay. There's 25. So then it did the eddy thing here, went out this way, and then it went kind of like within the cluster to a margin over here. And then 26 is over back at the exhaust path, but it's in line with 11 and 12, interestingly. Which then, if we just kind of extend it, is generally in line with where this is happening, just of note. We can see other details in magnetic anomalies. And then that one, 27, 28, 29. So then it goes back clockwise, even though 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 were counterclockwise. It kind of went counter, put out arms, went over here, and then went back the other way, kind of thing, maybe, in terms of just how the pressure was moving, where it's literally like going almost like if fluid, a wave in like a plastic container where the wave hits the wall and then ripples back. There's probably some kind of ripple back aspect to it of how the pressures are moving, where it's really behaving like fluid. Possibly. Sometimes I wonder if it's just straight up water. Not even like magma, really. That would be interesting. I don't know. I lean towards magma, but okay. And then in the last 24 hours, okay, that's just me saying those things. And then in the last 48 hours, using this website, which has that option where the USGS does not have 2 days. In the last 48 hours there, it looks like this, which I just thought was interesting enough to draw a line like this. Really, my main initial focus when I was doing this was, oh, there's like an arc, because I've seen this really wave to it before, and I just kind of ignored this area, and I did this, and then I said, well, if people are looking at this, they're gonna be like, what about all the other ones? I'm like, well, there is kind of that branching of undercurrent thing in appearance here, and this, I just started to draw off of it this way, and I'm like, well, it kind of just eddies into where the 6.1 happened, generally, so maybe it eddied like this against resistance of something, which, ta-da! I finally was like, let me open G-plates. Let me look at where this magnetic anomaly is relative to these earthquakes. Here's me circling them. So here's the 6.1, and then here's the boundary ones. So the far margin of these, and then this far boundary encapsulates all this, generally. Here is this far one, and then the next one over is here. So notice they're on opposite sides of this segment, where that one is in, like, these two are along the magnetic anomaly. That one is too. I really was precise. Like, this is where the coordinates are. This one, I noticed, this is a 6.1 right here, is relatively just like in line with this like boundary, where there's a low intensity region that has a wall to kind of hold a current flow along kind of thing, or pressures along a margin that forms in that way. And then I trace the bulge as a whole, and it starts all the way down here, which is noticeably in line with this. So I'm like, okay, it seems like maybe this bulge, the northward current, is closely tied to this margin, and generally current going through here, which I've interpreted to go this way a lot. But this seems to suggest that it's even just kind of going across here and across, literally across the magnetic anomalies, where this one's more, it's higher intensity, it's got a spike. It's just more resistant, maybe literally taller, I don't know. Where the current can kind of flow over a hill more than it can flow over a mountain. Not saying it's such a thing, but then it flows like this, and this is the outer margin of the bulge. It's not every earthquake, it's the outer earthquakes. So just kind of here with like some nuance in there to capture that the earthquakes are specifically around this magnetic anomaly. And then I just added currents, and I'm like, dude, it's totally fucking doing it. Or it's going up this way. Something else is coming down this way that really changed at Sandpoint, allowing this inflow in from over around Sandpoint. When Alaska, when that earthquake happened just before Kamchatka region just like blew up with earthquakes ever since. And because my interpretation is undercurrents were not able to get into this region prior to that earthquake, but that like fundamentally and structurally changed the flows in a more long-term way, maybe not permanently, but from what has been since then, where it seems like pressure of currents is getting into this region more and causing exhaust out of the region more than it was prior, and so it's leading to a interaction of currents outflowing from Asia that generally go through this region, where maybe the margin of this pressure was more the Aleutian Arc region and didn't really get past here, like northward flows, just kind of held it closed while they went that way, but it pushed the gate open, and it's flowing out through, for the time being at least, unless pressures can close it, literally, like trying to close some kind of gushing vent or something. But where the northward bound current can't really go this way, so it ultimately goes over here and goes up that way, and we've talked about this in all sorts of ways, so I won't go into further details about it, but in essence, there it is, and it makes sense. It literally makes sense. There's a resistant wall here, so the current can't get through it very easily. There's a southward flowing current, so anything that from this northward flowing current that runs into this magnetic anomaly and is caused to go towards the downward flowing current is going to eddy at it because it's flowing into it, so it's going to eddy there. I mean, and there's a freaking eddy. These maybe also have something to do with current flowing through here as well. Interacting these. I'm not sure why I would do this, honestly, without like this current like interacting. It probably is interacting, I guess. It's just that simple. It's flowing through here and joining it over here, as well as going through here. And maybe like out and along that way more so. Possibly even down along this margin. Not sure. It's really hard to say when it's just like blue. And a huge region of equal intensity. Okay. So I thought that was worth mentioning. I'm probably a half hour in without having even looked at a Shaligram. I was almost just started right away without an intro. Close this here. I had to figure out what number I'm on. Okay. I opened several channels. This is a channel I've seen before, so let's just jump to the ones I just came across. I don't know. Yes, this is definitely one of them. This one has less videos, so I'll start there. Okay, that guy hasn't posted really. I was just curious. Year ago. I wish shorts gave dates. They look familiar enough. Okay. Stop it. Go. Okay. I came across a lot of cool Shaligrams. From both of these vendors. I don't even know where to begin. I like to start at the bottom and work up. I just pulled this out and as its own tab so I could open a bunch. Okay, do that one. This one definitely. That one. Oops. Oopsie. I already forgot which ones I freaking opened. Let's practically do them all. That one. That one. Definitely that one. That one. That one. That one. That one. I gotta close this. Calm down, computer. Everything will be okay. Poor thing. It's frickin'. It's my only friend. Sorry, friends. should have done this before you started. This is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, now I'm just... nothing I can do right, really. Except be right. Boom. Okay. Okay, cool striations. They look quite pronounced. Different directions. Much wow. Definitely, I'm always, especially vendors, I haven't seen many shaligrams from. Always looking, do I think this is like modified, etc. So like these striations they look a little different from things I've seen, which is not like uncommon in shaligrams for that to be a case. So it doesn't mean anything really. It makes me have the thought in mind as I look at it, and it's quite curious. Like, and I think about it because I know the only argument modern science can make is these are modified. Even first, like if it's specific details, and so let's say somehow they bother to respond to specific details, and let's say like it's this shaligram, and they say, well, it's I say let's just say I say there's some reason in these striations that this shaligram is unequivocally not a fossil and is etched by complex currents that are visible in its every detail. And they say, well, these striations are made by man. And I know that's their only argument, so I think about it a lot. It's not a good argument. It's a false argument. There's probably cases it's true, but it's not. It doesn't cover the systematic and systemic, maybe, the systematic nature of these types of details across shaligrams, across vendors, across sources of pictures, imagery, videos. It doesn't. It doesn't account for it all. But something I notice, I'm like, okay, let's just say someone's like, I'm gonna change this rock here, this shaligram. I'll make this shaligram cooler. I'm gonna systematically take some little rotating device and modify its surface. Are they gonna be like, you know what, this area, I'm just gonna do straight up across, fuck it. Just straight across. Ah, shit, maybe here I'm gonna do this way now. Over here, as we approach the ammonite, I'm gonna change it up a bit. And then, you know what, on the other side, it's gonna start going up and down, fuck it. I don't even care. It's gonna be all the more incredible to the foolish non-scientists. Scientists know better, but the non-scientists, even if they're engineers, the non-scientists, they're not gonna know better. We're gonna trick them with these very interconnected flows that change directions. And even, yeah, okay. Okay. Details of this Shaligram are pretty normal. Like, definitely an awesome Shaligram. My favorite element by far is the striations. This looks of interest, but it's hard to really see what's going on. Typical ammonite above an ammonite forms where an eddy forms, an eddy current that etch the stone and shape the stone and move the grains of the stone in some cases. Frequently can offshoot another eddy current above it. Makes me think of Kamchatka. Sometimes I'm like, what is about to happen there? More sweet striations. Oof. I love Shaligrams. I love Shaligrams. Wow. Ammonite, just crazy detail. Ammonite, something. So many. Oh, I love how they're like angled similarly on different faces of the stone. It's things like that. I'm like, you guys aren't even paying attention to the stones. They're not even like, it doesn't make any fucking. It's because the wrong scientists are looking at these stones. Literally, it's not even classified to the right scientists. The ones that would notice the systematic nature where they like these are in line on this face angled a certain way, other ones on another face are angled a different way, but all the same. Who cares? It's all coincidence with enough time and erosion. Enough ammonites swimming in the sea. Their shells will inevitably be properly half the sizes of one another, stacked adjacent to the chakra and at the edge of the other. It just happens sometimes. If there's enough time, it happens sometimes. What a Shaligram. So this is from, by the way, all these current videos, as you already saw, but I'm just specifically pointed out. Shaligram Y1. Okay. This one I thought was super cool. I glanced, definitely glanced. Like, what the fuck, dude? This is another thing. Like, okay, maybe, again, is it real? Because it's so abnormal and demanding of scientific explanation that modern science does not have, that this thing demands to be interpreted as a false fake Shaligram to explain why the fuck it has these really narrow paths of fossils. Oh yeah, just narrow paths of fossils. Seashells totally just do that along narrow paths when they, especially like that one. Oh my god. They're so, and then that little, oh yeah, that's fake. Yeah, they're totally faking that shit. Totally fake, right? Like it's a rock. These are the features of the stone, like you're not modern science. What, like right there, it's like a duck eyeball, beak, and then little things that way. Oh, so many, like, so many little paths that kind of thread between them too. Definitely relationships visible, at least. I don't know if so many paths, but it's more that so many paths because they're not just between them, but out this way, along, like, and out this way. We can kind of see, like, blocky texture, little dots even, like pixels. I mean, it's incredible. Huge shaligrams are so cool. Just like what? Hard to say if anything especially pops out. The surface looks super cool. That looks like a belemnite. Like along there, right there. Which modern science wouldn't be too hard at explaining if it's just like a ammonite and a belemnite and a matrix. It's hard to really tell what else is going on in this stone. So not the most exciting in that regard. Sold. Well, thanks for the video. I wonder if that's put on after. Oh, no fossils over here, huh? Fuck it. They like to cluster when they die. Everyone die together. Yes, simultaneously right here in the same spot. Oh, not over there. Don't you fucking do it over there. Oh, what are layers, dude, I think. That's just how it happens because time, erosion, and coincidence. Well, it's not coincidence if we figured out that the layers deposit layerly. Okay, pardon my... like pseudo-eroded patches. Hard to say what's going on in this one. If it has similar patterns, it almost had too many where if there's like threads of currents, it's just hard to make out because they're all it's all interacting. It's all kind of one. Wow. That's a pretty common feature of shaligrams that really shouldn't be if they're just seashell shells fossilized. Something cool above that chakra. The dividing chunk off the back. Very common. For it to be like structurally dividing. So it has like a blob that has some divide that's literally divided. Like but where it's more discreet, like that, where it's got a little protrusion. This is just kind of the same as over on that side of the stone, besides the ammonite structure. But like, it's similarly odd in that it has two parallel-ish ones that one of them starts at the ammonite. Okay. What in the hell is going on in there? What? Bro, you did not just put that shit down. He's like, beep, 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 beep. What in the fuck? I cannot even tell what's happening. It's got like layers. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. It's too incredible. I want to see it, more of it. Is he gonna pick it up again? This one reminds me of a place at Damn It Arcane area. The wall. Other things, other shaligrams too. It's kind of square in shape with rounded corners. This one's more rounded in terms of two-dimensional. Oh, this one's also flat on one face and rounded overall. This one's two flat faces at least. There it is. It looks like a dragon. Like an actual head of a dragon that's wrapping around. Oh my god. I don't even know what that's like supposed to be in modern science interpretation. Is that a crinoid? Wow, those chakras are like pencils or something. They almost look like a smushed pen. Oh my god. Wow. This one is way less sparkly. I might have been making that up. It's hard to tell. Now that it's not there, I'm not even sure at all. Interesting. Like, whatever's going on in this hole is interesting. Chakra boundary that then, in completely perfect reasonableness, the ammonite just kind of goes beep, goes this way. Well, that's a different ammonite, okay. What about that one? Well, that's one ammonite. Okay, okay. Uh-oh. I want to see that other thing. Fuck. Wow. It's just like Han Solo coming out of the stuck in the thing or whatever. Where he's like something's up with that one, but wow. Chakra. Pff. Wow. There's a fucking... The boundary of an ammonite. So apparently an ammonite somehow created this. Which just so happens to be adjacent to another ammonite that's kind of in this ammonite space, I would say. I guess it maybe not, but this certainly is. Like, what the fuck? Oh, it's so incredible. And then this looks like a chakra, like on inside there. That's almost like extending to the actual chakra. It makes me feel like this bump, this mound, is having flows through here, run into it, and go through the chakra. Which gives me the impression maybe current was flowing into the stone this way and interacting, which is why it's not really part of this system, because it's kind of just coming in from over here. Where this is more eddying from around the chakras interactions. Cuts across and then off after, maybe in as well. Even back here, like what the fuck? Okay, okay. Very cool. Trying to make out if any, what's like especially odd about it. This is more of a belemnite, like inlet with the little protrusion. That one even had like a little pore. Oh my god. Ammonite, Ammonite imprint. Oh my god. Like, it's so systematic. The way this is angled that way, this one's angled this way, and then that one's there. It's eddies arranging themselves. Oh my god. Looks like a ram. I mean, okay, that's definitely not the same one. This is the first one. And the video is replaying. Also with the negative on the outside. What the... Odd. Super odd. That's the belemnite like area there. I don't think we see inside of it. No clue. Okay, this one is just freaking hard to make out what's up. Another more black one. More black shale than the others. And then just coated in these strange, like, manifestations of currents drilling. Like, oh my god. Wow. That looks hieroglyphic. Glyphic in general. Wow. It doesn't, it's so unassuming from this angle. Like, it's got one here, but it really doesn't reveal what is happening until he turns it. Like, even here, it doesn't look much more like a matrix with some, like, pot marks. And an ammonite. And strangely shaped. But then, it really... Especially on the back here. Got a random... Dude, it looks like a little... Like a CERN experiment. Particle colliders type stuff. That's crazy. Oh my. Just imprint. I don't know why I would do stuff like this. It's quite like I've seen it. I just haven't really thought it through very much. Besides just kind of eddying and drilling, but like this versus Belemnite versus other scenarios, like it's specific patterns that demand a specific explanation, I guess. And this one looks more like the standard ribs of an ammonite imprint. It just kind of gets a little segment, so maybe can bridge them in some manner. Because a lot of them are like on the side. Some are definitely drilling in directly, so like some kind of pressing of the side of an ammonite eddy structure into the matrix that yields indentations that are really current etched, that then leads to subsequent eddies that really etch it in even more curious ways. Like these, it doesn't really explain how it just gets directly in cases like that one and this one. This looks much more like it's just drilling and then has a central, like goes around the outside maybe this way and then goes in to the center. I don't know. It's insane. I think this is the same one. Different lighting. Oh my god. Such a cool Shaligram. The shape over here. Make it make sense. Dear science. Mood. Disappointed. Dear diary, mood apathetic. In case anyone is like, what the fuck? You look that up, and it'll make sense. Even if it's not funny, I don't know. Some old school internet thing, I don't know. Again, just stacked. Oh, we can see a chakra with an outer margin that seems related to over there. That if we go back... It just kind of flows into the sides of those. There's another pseudo chakra. So that made me think of Sudarshan's chakra. I'm like, whoa. Okay. I can see like a wrapping around two of them. Like, what in the fuck? What in the fuck, modern science? Wait. I legitimately thought it was this way. This. Like, kind of like that, right? It sure looks like that. But then, oh my god, we get here and what do we see? It's going that way. Dominant recessive. Wow. That's a exemplary. Straight up looks like it. Chakra. Even that. Is chakra is lobe like. Maybe not this lobe like. Unreal. Where basically eddies were forming one after another, but then it gets to the edge of the rock and it literally drills in here and then tries to extend into a eddy this way like these others. Maybe it kind of went down along this way as it formed eddies, I don't know, or it formed here and moved outward and went this way and then worked its way over here and possibly like this way where it just kind of stops the ammonite structure here and instead just says, you know what, I'll go over here to the edge of the rock where I can fall off the side and go to a lower energy state, some other region that's not eroding the stone at least. And so it did, and instead of going this way, it ended up going this way. Which then freaking went off that way. Oh my god. Like it went here, did eroded here, went here, eroded here, went down here, eroded here. But ultimately, like it went down to the far end where it could go this way and kind of block the path here for exhaust going out this way as easily, where this became dominant but also held a boundary for them. This is insane. Oh my god, and then this one turns that much more around the stone. This one angled different along a like different face. Oh my god. I just am ignoring all the numbers, part of me. That's how many structures there are. Obviously, there's writing on the Shaligrams. A little odd to see. I can understand though. Especially those. Ooh, hello. Especially those. Incredible. I mean, any of these disprove modern science. Oh man, I want to go to the Kaligandaki River. Oh my, if I was ever there. Up there. Go rock hounded. I'd be probably also inclined to find interest in things that are maybe less gathered. I suspect just the general everything, like everything's of interest there. Like, everything is related to Shaligram formation there. Oh my god. Everything's of interest. I guess that's pretty universal, but Kaligandaki. Okay, I can't really tell what's going on here. Oh. Let's check out. Oh. Cluster again. Papua New Guinea. Also, kind of like the ping pong Drake Passage region. In the midst of that, I don't know if it's really ping ponging. I'm not saying it is. Although maybe, I mean, I guess there could be some higher magnitude quakes over here. I don't, just like, is there some kind of bow? There's definitely the bow and the arrow kind of thing. Literally. Terms of the bulge in the last 24 hours. This is interesting. It's just like a straight line. Wait, which ones are those? Wait, okay, where's that one? Okay. Straight line cluster region with like an offshoot. So maybe it's running into the magnetic anomaly of the southward flowing current, exhausting that way. Like eddying, but exhausting. She's probably bending back ultimately, though. Oh. That's interesting, whatever's going on there. That opening. Wow. Ooh, those. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my god, dudes. Come on, noob scientists. Oh my god. Noob scientists. Those are fossils. Damn, this. Oh. It's just turning. Oh my lord, and it turns some more. Like the patterns through it. The rock itself. Oh my god. Oh, that was so cool. A little patch, like a window. Like a 4. Make it make sense. Fucking. Well, there's a species called. They probably have a species. They're like, well, there is a species. Funny. Can of worms, can of Caniquitas, bruh. Caniquitas. I'd like to see that right there. It makes me think like each tier kind of reminiscent of that, just expanded with like over here then some hole punches like that looking thing that then ends up creating the protruding little rib to each tier. And there's a good shot of these layers that then seem to eddy right there. It looks like a bandage. Like a cast or whatever. Just wrapping it in bands. And just wrapping the whole friggin' thing in a, like, imagine you wrapping something like this. Like, you'd have to take different angles. Like, up here, it's coming down this way. Here, it's all across that way. That was too cool not to try to see it better. Look like a rabbit, like Donnie Darko. Some Donnie Darko vibes. Nothing over there except for along some region. Looks like teeth that then look like suture, like almost like they're becoming suture patterns. Very odd overall. Okay. Not sure why I opened this one, honestly. Pretty standard. Little tiny one there. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Oh my god, dude. Oh, it's got chambers. Look at this, dudes. Right there. The whole of the stone is ammonite like a chamber, boundary, like eddying in kind of thing. Vice versa too, because it's not very regular. It didn't actually dominantly form the ammonite, but it seems like an ammonite that's tried to form and then broke down into other eddies. Some of which are overlapping in really profound ways. Oh my god, I wish I could see this better. Wow, like that there. Like it looks kind of related to that. And squeeze it in and then they stack sideways here. It looks like one there. I feel like the first one was just so incredible though. Like in terms of like impossible. I think it was over there. Oh my god. Yeah, that, right like that is freaking insane. There's a chakra, and then a sideways chakra above it like that. Okay, he's solid. What the? Where'd that one go? Oh, I'm confused because that's not the same one. But then the other one came back. Striations on that one look of interest. Also this one, but whoa. Okay. I think I'm too tired to keep going. I should stop. I'll do one more because I can think of a specific one. This one is insane. It's literally on the side of the freaking ammonite. Like, part of it. What are you guys talking about? It's just excuses for why that could be. It's like, even the height of it. Like, it clearly extended to it. So, what are these shells doing? It even flows. We can see, like, this chunk is part of this one, and yet the imprint has, like, interactions there. Like, in this area. So cool, so simple, and so just irrefutable. Suck it, science. Well, not science, but maybe science. Natural